What's going on, friends? Riding Harley-Davidsons, we know a thing or two about engine heat. Now, it doesn't matter which model you ride, we all experience some extreme engine heat, and it's a lot more pronounced on the twin cam engine. So today, we're going to take a look at some ways to cool your Harley-Davidson down, save your motor, and make your ride a lot more enjoyable. There's a lot of good reasons out there to want to cool your engine down on your Harley-Davidson. One, it's going to make your engine last longer. It's going to improve your fuel economy. It's going to produce more horsepower. And most enjoyable of all, it's going to make the ride a lot more comfortable. Now, I don't want to give you any false hope here that we're going to cool it down to the levels of what a water-cooled motorcycle is going to be running at, but we're going to make it a lot better with a few things just from the mild to a bit more extreme. So before we get to how to cool down your motorcycle, if you enjoy this video, please don't forget to drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Harley-Davidson says that a normal operating temperature for your oil, because the oil not only lubricates the engine but it cools it, normal operating temperature is going to be 230 degrees. That's extremely hot. That's about what is considered normal for a Harley-Davidson, and this is just on an average day. Now, this is on an average day in a temperate climate. You know, we'll say 75 to 80 degrees. We're going to stay under 90 here. On a warmer day, you could be looking at temperatures up to 270 degrees. And that's not to mention that if you're riding a touring bike or even a trike, 270 degrees could be about your average on a heavy touring motorcycle. And if you're running a trike on a hot day, temperatures could reach 300 degrees as far as oil temperature goes. Now, with these high temperatures, you're going to experience a few things like reduced fuel economy, your engine's going to have reduced power, and it's going to feel sluggish to you. And not only that, you're having highly accelerated component wear when you're running those kind of temperatures with your Harley. Now, you guys may have recognized some of the products sitting back here on my very leaning and very sketchy shelf, as many of you have commented on, but there's a reason why I keep all this up here. Not only is it convenient for me to grab when I'm working on things, but I'm going to talk a little bit about what's on this shelf today. And the first thing that you can do that can help reduce your oil temperatures is switch from conventional oil. If you're running a conventional oil, consider switching to a synthetic oil. Now, the idea behind these synthetic oils are that they provide better lubrication. And with better lubrication comes reduced wear. And with reduced wear comes reduced friction. And with reduced friction also provides less heat. So if we're reducing friction, we're reducing heat. And by reducing heat, we're taking heat out of our engine. Now, also, depending on the oil manufacturer, whatever synthetic motorcycle oil you decide to go with, they'll also make, some claims that they have better heat transfer properties, which basically is transferring the heat to the cylinders where the heat is expelled through the cylinder fins. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I'm not an engineer, but I've had pretty good luck with synthetic oil. The next thing that you can do that's really simple after you've changed your oil is to add a cooling collar to your oil filter. This is basically a finned heat sink that slips over the top of your oil filter. Now, I don't personally run one myself, but they claim that they can reduce heat up to 20 degrees. Personally, I think that's a little extreme, but you can pick these guys up on eBay for about 50 bucks. Definitely, in theory, it is something that would work very well, but I think the 20-degree claim is going a little bit extreme. Now, the next option on my list for really reducing the temperatures that you're experiencing is probably one of the most obvious, which is to add an oil cooler. Now, oil coolers have really been fought by Harley-Davidson for quite a long time. If you check out my video about how the twin cam came to be, you'll see how the engineering and the styling department got into quite a bit of a disagreement, we'll say, about the oil cooler. Now, what an oil cooler can do is basically the same thing as a radiator on your car, as much as you may know. It takes hot oil in, air passes through it, and it reduces the oil temperature and sends it back into the engine. My personal thoughts are that every Harley-Davidson motorcycle should come with an oil cooler, and that never really came to fruition until the Milwaukee 8 came around, when they finally figured out a way to make it look nice and discreet down between the down tubes of the frame rails. Now, if you want to take that even further, you can go with a fan-assisted oil cooler, which really works like the radiator on the V-Rod, which is not Harley-Davidson approved by any length of the means. Radiator is a 4-letter word around Harley-Davidson. Whatever combination you want to use that in, whether it be water cooling or radiator, you're going to get a very bad reaction from Harley-Davidson. But using a fan-assisted oil cooler, they actually are on a thermostat, which you can generally set them, or they can be automatic, or they can be manually turned on with a switch. But generally most of them they're set up to turn on around 210 degrees and cool the oil down. So anybody that lives in a major city, they ride in traffic a lot, this is an excellent option for you to help maintain a more constant temperature on your bike. The next thing we want to look at when it comes to cooling the bike down is your tuning. Your tuning can make one heck of a difference. If you have a carbureted Harley, this is very easy to remedy with a couple jet changes, put some more fuel in the motorcycle, help richen it up a little bit, and take that leanness that comes out from the factory. But if you have a carbureted bike, chances are it's already got pipes and an air cleaner on it, and somebody's already jetted it at some point if you got it second hand. Now, in 2007, when Harley-Davidson went to the 96 and they went with fuel injection, this is when things got really hot. The EPA mandated them to run them at basically 14.7 AFR, which is stoichiometric. I think I said that right. But essentially what that is that is the ideal air-fuel ratio for gasoline to burn cleanly. Now, while it burns cleanly and everything, it's not good for your motor, and it does not provide you a very good riding experience by any length of the means. So what we have here is we have a stock fuel map, and everything that you can see kind of in the dark red, the dark orange, that is just how lean these fuel mixtures are. And this is actually the stock base map from my personal motorcycle. Now, this is the FP3 map that I got from Vance & Hines with my FP3 tuner to go with my exhaust and air cleaner. The orange areas you're seeing are basically my cruising range because I have oxygen sensors on my bike, the narrowband oxygen sensors, and that's about as rich as they can read within their range. They can go a lot leaner, but we don't want lean, we want richer. So if you have one of the earlier models that did not have oxygen sensors, you have a little bit more control over what your air-fuel ratio is going to be below 14%. Now, below 14%, you can really get down there and make some power and cool the bike off. Now, unfortunately, if you have a bike with O2 sensors, the narrow bands, you're going to be stuck at about this 14.4 range unless you go and get a wideband system like from ThunderMax, or if you have a PowerVision with Target Tune. This is going to really help you cool your motorcycle off quite a bit. And if you already have exhaust and pipes, this is a good option to look at. So if you're running a street tuner, you still got that very lean air-fuel ratio, and that's what's really keeping your bike hot. Now, for, in my opinion, one of the most extreme options out there, it is the Love Jugs. These are some large fans that cover the cylinders and actually blow air across them. They work great. I mean, they're not really my cup of tea, but if you've got them, they're excellent for keeping your motorcycle cool. Now, they do have these big, large ones here, and then they also make little smaller sets, which they do the job. They will do the trick. These will definitely keep your temperatures down. They're great if you ride in some extremely hot climates, like if you're running through Death Valley or something, or if you live in a major city. Other fan that I found, this is from Jim's. This is a lot more discreet. You just relocate your horn, and it almost looks like it came from the factory. Now, what Jim's claims is that their fan can actually lower your head temperatures by up to 100 degrees. And that's pretty impressive, especially from this discreet little unit here. I really like these. Personally, if I was going to add fans to my cylinders, this would be the unit that I would go with. Now, when it comes to cooling down your motorcycle, your bike was designed to run at a specific operating temperature, which is basically 230 degrees. So the idea behind all these different options that we looked at today is to get your motorcycle running ideally at about 230 and 250 degrees being on the extreme end. When your motorcycle hits 270 degrees, your oil temperature, that's when we start having reduced fuel economy, reduced power, and just overall a miserable ride. And the other major part at 270, that's when accelerated wear starts to happen. And that's why I highly suggest running a good, high quality synthetic oil that's going to handle that heat much better than the conventional oils out there. So guys, let me know what you think. What was your favorite option that we listed today? Would you combine just a couple of them, or would you combine all of them? I'm kind of curious to know what you guys would do to try to cool your bike down. Just remember, don't add too much of this and overcool the motorcycle, because that's bad too. You don't want to constantly be running your bike around under normal operating temperature. That can be just as bad as running it at a high temperature, because it's just like starting your car in the morning on a cold day and then going out and going full throttle down the road. It's not good for the engine. But anyhow guys, please don't forget to drop me a like on the video if you enjoy it. We really appreciate you guys over here on the channel. You guys have been wonderful. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. So guys, that's all I had for you this week. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some ideas to help cool your bike down, make your ride more enjoyable, and make the bike last longer. But guys, until next week, please stay safe on the streets, dodge those cars, and I will see you guys next week.